Our feet are our most selfless servant, and our feet have a lot of fascia in them. You might have heard of like plantar fasciitis and people who have a lot of pain in their feet. And a lot of our problems, like our pain in our body, is actually coming from not utilizing like the full surface area of our feet when we walk. So we want them to be nice and supple, and so we will work into them a little bit. Um, I didn't want to get too fancy today for our demonstrations, and I didn't know how many people I was going to have, but I do use some props sometimes in my classes, and one of the props that I really like are either like a tennis ball or a lacrosse ball, and I use that under the feet for some like myofascial release there and to help get into different nooks and crannies. We use a lot of straps too when I teach, just to help. Sometimes people will, when we do the standing, we'll put it around the sole of the foot and kind of use that to help with the leg and some stretching. So yeah, lots of different things you can do even in chair yoga. But let's get started, because I know time goes really fast in yoga, because when you're present, time seems to move along. And it was kind of funny. I just came across one quote today. It said, "Being good at yoga shouldn't be a thing. You don't need to be good at drinking water or being kind. You get the benefits from doing it. The benefit of yoga is that you feel better and have a better connection to yourself and the world around you." So I'll just remind you that the poses, there's not anything inherently magical about any of them. So it's like a tool. Just like a knife, you can heal somebody with a knife, or you can hurt somebody with a knife. So the poses are tools, and it's the person that's wielding that tool as far as how you're going to get the benefits of it. So if you're using a pose in a way that is trying to jam or force your agenda, or you feel like it should look like the person next to you, it could have a harmful effect as opposed to a helpful effect. We have to really be tuned in order to know what our edge is. Because if we don't go to a place where we're stimulating something, then it's going to atrophy because we're not using it. You guys are in the joint replacement business, so if you don't use it, you lose it. That's what's occurring. So all of these creative movements are so that we can touch places that we don't normally touch if we're sitting during the day. So we want to touch it, but we want to touch it to the right amount. And you have been programmed, if you've grown up in this culture that I've grown up in, that no pain, no gain, more is better. And really, that's kind of an insane premise to start with, and it's gotten us into a load of trouble. So what we really want is balance. We really want to look for the right amount, not the most amount. And the right amount is going to change every single time you come to a yoga class. It's going to look different, because according to how you ate, according to how you slept, if you just lost a loved one, like that pose is going to look different because you're feeling it in your body. So I'm going to invite you here to just set the tone by grounding into the present moment, and to try to make this practice as much as you can to come from an embodied experience where you are feeling your way into these postures, not thinking your way into them. In order to establish some of that presence, we just start with this little bit of grounding here, feeling the feet on the floor, noticing that your seat is here on the chair, and beginning to feel that breath in your body. So like we talked earlier, just those deep, smooth inhaling through the nose, and you let the diaphragm move down, the belly expands. And when you breathe out, that muscle comes back up like a piston and the belly contracts. And whenever you get distracted, you just come right back to this breath. It's happening right here and right now in the present moment. The mind loves to distract. This is a survival mechanism that the mind does, and that's okay. We want to have compassion for ourselves and for that. But we also want to take some agency and be aware that we have control over where we place that mind. And at any moment that you catch yourself, you can just come right back to those smooth breaths. So when we start to incorporate some movement into this smooth breathing, your job is going to be to maintain the deep, smooth breaths throughout all the vicissitudes of the class. So if it starts to become choppy or erratic, just know that might be an indication to back off, right? You want to keep that as the priority here. So let's try that physiological sigh. Let's all take the shoulders up to the ears on a deep inhale. Then open the mouth, let it go. Ha. One more just for good measure. Inhale. And exhale. Ha. Good. Now let's take both arms, bring them down. I'm going to scooch up a little forward. I usually use chairs that don't have arms in them, but we're going to work with what we got here. So nice wrapping of the shoulders down the back. And then when you're ready, take both arms. Let's bring them up to the sky. Reach them high. Now the palms are going to face towards one another, and we're going to try to get the shoulders out of the ears by bringing those biceps a little bit further back here, and a nice long spine as you inhale, nice and tall. And then exhale your right arm down by your side. So I'm going to look different than you because I'm using my right arm as well. Reach up with the left arm, reach it high, and then a side bend. Now remember we talked about the poses all having an anchor. So right now my left hip is anchoring down, my left fingertips are reaching away, and I'm doing my best to keep my chest open here. So no kind of rounding forward, but always an opening up, like where can I make space in this pose? And you breathe in and breathe out. Now on your next inhale, go ahead and draw those fingertips up to the sky, and then take the fingers and bring them to the opposite temple here. And then really easy, because we're working with the cervical spine, start to draw that left ear down towards your left shoulder. And this may be enough right here, or if you want, you could take the left arm out to the side. Maybe you even take the back of the the right hand, I messed that one up, you're right. Take the back of the right hand and bring it behind the back, a little slide there. So now I'm wrapping this shoulder a little open. I'm getting into some of those little nooks and crannies, and I'm just trying to make it feel good. No force, no aggression here. Let's give it one more full breath in and a smooth breath out. Now take those left fingertips, slide them over to these temples. Help your head back up. We're going to place that left hand down onto the lap nice and easily. Release the right hand from behind the back. Go ahead and bring it all the way back up to the sky. Reach it high. This time we're going to float this hand onto the opposite thigh. And like I demonstrated earlier in class, we're going to take a twist. So left hand's going to come maybe behind the chair. That might be a little much for some people, but turn your torso towards the left here. And then ground down through your tailbone, lift up through the crown of the head. Good. And then wrap open those collarbones. Now, we're going to work with something, it's called the vagus nerve. It's really important in terms of recalibrating our nervous system. It kind of drops us into a parasympathetic state. So we're going to do that by turning the head only. So stay in your twist, and on an inhale, just turn the head to look towards the right shoulder. And then come on back as you exhale, look back towards the left. And then again, inhaling, turning the head. And then exhale, bring it back. We'll take one more for the power of threes. Just try to steady the eyes as you do that. And then come on back to look back. And then take that left arm, go ahead and reach it straight out with the palm facing upward. Now come swooping over that left ear. Stay grounded through your left hip. You might even flip this hand around on the back of the thigh. And then just like you're in this kind of a zigzag shape, you're in a side bend, you're in a twist, and you want to feel the breath in your body. Really full, deep breaths. After your next exhale, on an inhale, we're going to come up. We'll kind of unwind forward and then take those knees a little bit out. So heel toe, scooch up a little bit in your seat here. Take your right shoulder. We're going to drop it towards the left knee and get a little bit of an opening on the inseam of the thigh here. Yeah. And then go ahead and twist back the other direction. Go ahead and open that. Now come on back in for that twist. Right shoulder towards the left knee. This time, take that right hand. I want you to reach it across and really expand all the fingers nice and wide, like you're kind of getting some opening into the fascia of that hand. And now let me see your grip strength by gripping all, making a tight fist, feeling the muscles around the shoulder joint turn on, the forearm. Let's do that one more time. Open and expand. And then go ahead and give me the grip strength. Now just release your thumb out to the side here. We're gonna open up like a rainbow, one finger at a time. So starting with the index, moving to the middle, to the ring, and you can watch it as you do it. So you have an open palm, open heart here, and then coming back the other way, the pinky, the ring, the middle, the index to the thumb. So now we're getting into the dexterity of our finger joints. Let's go one more time here. Ringing, bowing it open, try to make it feel good, make space. And then come on back, one finger at a time, right? Not easy. Coming back. Now, once we're here, just drop that arm. Let it dangle. Let gravity do some work. It can sway in the breeze a little bit, and you might even get a little stretch in the back of your neck as you do that. And then take that hand. Let's bring it to the opposite thigh here. Go ahead and press your way up. We're going to heel toe our legs to parallel. Everybody take your right toes, go ahead and bring them forward for a little point here, stretch into the top of the foot, and then slide it on back. Do that one more time, pointing the toes forward, and then let's slide it back. Now this time, bring that foot straight out, flex the foot. So go ahead and take a look. We're gonna do our best to try to find some good alignment here. So you want about the center of the knee, tracking to about the second or third toe. And, we're just kind of training ourselves to have better muscle memory so that when we walk, we're in good alignment, because everything always starts at the feet in terms of setting up our foundation for good structure. So seeing that there, now you could stay just like this. If you want, you could reach the right hand out to the right like an airplane wing. Maybe the left arm comes to follow. Now see that you're not sitting back or leaning back. Can you kind of strengthen the abdominal wall as you reach the crown of the head towards the sky? Last little bit here, maybe both arms come up to the sky, and then breathe deep and then let it go. Good. Take your hands, go ahead and interlace them right at the top of that shin, and then draw the knee in towards your chest. So you might end up sitting a little bit forward here on the chair. You can kind of round the back and draw the nose towards the knee. You'll feel a stretch behind the shoulder blades. While we're in the neighborhood, if you'd like, you can even roll that ankle joint around a few times in one direction. And if you hear a little snap, crackle, pop, don't worry, you're not broken. Just that synovial fluid working in the joint. Go ahead in the other direction. Good. So we're stretching those hip flexors. We're going to strengthen them a little bit. Sit up tall. Go ahead and drop the knee down a little bit. Keep the foot flexed. And then if you'd like, and you can always hold on to the knee if it feels better for you. Otherwise, for a little more challenge, you can come and grab the sides of your chair. And then we're just going to open the door here. And then we'll close it. And then open and close. And I'm still breathing smooth, inhaling and coming back. And then open and close. And for the last one, we're going to stay here. So feel the strength there, and those hip flexors, those are the same muscles that help you to walk up the stairs. If you'd like, you could try to press that heel outward and see if you can do it without leaning to the side. So lift the crown of the head, and then maybe this time take your left arm out like an airplane wing, followed by the right, and then give it one more big inhale here, and then exhale, go ahead and let that go. Good. And then we'll do a little bit with the spine. Let's do some cat-cows before we hit the other side. So hands will come to the knees here. Start to slide those palms towards the hips. Open and wrap open the heart, the shoulders. Breathe deep. And when you exhale, let's take that sigh. Ha. And then inhale, breathe it in. And then exhale. Ha. And if you want that lion's breath, here we go. Inhale. Stick out the tongue. Ha. One more like that. Inhale. And then come on back. We call this a seated mountain pose. Take a moment. Just kind of notice what the effects are of the class so far. Just from an energetic standpoint. So just like a scientist, you're just observing, what's there. No No opinion coming from the head about it, just an experience that you're having. And then if you're ready, we will take both hands. Let's bring them up to the sky, reach them high. And then once you're here, we'll drop the left arm down by the side. Go ahead and reach over with those right fingertips. Make it feel good. Kind of focusing down into that right hip, making some space between the ribs there. And then take those fingers up to the sky. We're going to drop them onto the opposite temple. Go ahead and float the right ear down towards your right shoulder. Breathe in and out. Now, if you'd like to go for that extra little chest opening, you can take that left hand, go ahead and slide the fingers behind the lower back. And again, just kind of coming to an intention, like if there's anything I'm holding on to here that isn't really helpful for me, can I let it go on each and every exhale? Good. Go ahead and drape those fingers over to the opposite temple. Help your way back up and then rest that hand onto the thigh. We'll take the opposite arm, bring it up. So left arm comes to the sky nice and high, and then drop it onto your right thigh this time. And again, we're turning from the thoracic spine. So the middle part of the back, maybe that right hand comes behind the chair and you find your twist here. So you're looking beyond the right shoulder. You're still maintaining the deep, smooth breaths. I haven't lost that yet. And I'm just wringing out and rinsing anything I don't want to bring with me. And kind of like that dish rag, I'm giving those inner organs a nice massage. And when you're ready, working on the vagus nerve here, let's turn the head to look towards the left. And then slowly tracing it back to look right. Again, head turns. And come on back. Good. Nice mindful movements, no hurries. One more time. Steady eyes, steady mind. And turn and look back. And then once you arrive, go ahead and reach that arm. Palm faces upward, and I come over the ear now, maybe flipping that hand onto the opposite thigh. Just knowing I can breathe, even if I feel like I'm between a rock and a hard place sometimes, that I can keep that breath smooth and deep. Good. One last little reach there to finish, and then come on up, face it forward. Let's heel toe, those knees out to the side. So this time we'll take the left shoulder, we'll drop it towards the right knee. And then come on back up and we'll twist. And then come back to the other side one more time as you're here. So try to keep that opening of that inner left thigh and reach that left arm across your body really far. Root down through the left hip, expand through the palm, and then squeeze those fingers in towards. Make a nice fist there, good grip strength. And then open it up again, expand it wide. Let's squeeze it in one more time. And now just release the thumb out. And here we go. We're going to rainbow it all the way open. So index finger, middle finger, ring, and then everything's open wide. And then come on back. Pinky, ring, middle, index, thumb. We'll do it one more time, opening it up, making space, making it feel good. And then come all the way back to where we started. Good. Once you arrive there, let's just drop the weight of that arm. Let it dangle. Let the neck relax. And then bring that hand to the opposite thigh, using it to push your way back up. We'll heel toe, our legs back to parallel. And whenever you're ready, go ahead and slide those left toes forward on the floor. Just feeling a stretch in the top of the foot here, which usually doesn't get stretched. And then slide it back in. And then come on forward and slide it in. And then this time we'll come all the way up. Flex that foot. Find that good alignment there between tracking the center of that knee to about that third toe. Sitting up nice and tall. And then if you like, we can reach Yeah, we came out to the side. Go ahead. Left arm out to the side, followed by the right, maybe bringing both arms up to the sky. It's an L for love. Breathe deep, and then let that go. And then take your hands, go ahead and interlace it at the top of the shin here. So I like to sit up a little forward for this one. Feel a nice stretch in the back, right? Like someone's just giving me a nice pat on the back, saying, good job for taking this time for yourself. It's like filling up your own gas tank, and we don't want ourselves burning up on fumes all day. This is really an opportunity. It's so unique in this lifetime to be able to just give complete and total attention to yourself. So don't worry about what anyone else is doing. Don't worry about what it looks like. If you want to roll that ankle joint around, feel free. And you can try both directions there. Good, and then go ahead and drop that down a little bit, sit up a little bit tall, and then if you want, we can kind of let go and start to open the door, and then close it, and then open, and close. Come on, open, and bring it in, and open, and close. And then the last one, we stay open, sit up a little taller, maybe one arm comes out to the side, followed by the other. Really root down through the bottom of that spine. Lift up through the crown of the head. And if you really want it, press that heel out. Take a deep breath in and then let it go. And then scooch up a little bit. Just kind of rinse that out. So a little windshield wiper back and forth with the knees here. Good. All right, come on back centered. Perfect. All right, now take notice how things are feeling. All right, a little bit of a breathing practice, and we're going to start to transition to the standing here. So we'll try it like this. On an inhale, I want you to just raise that right arm up to the sky. And as you exhale, go ahead and lower it back down. Let's do it with the left hand. Bring it up on the inhale. And then lower it back down. Now, on an inhale, we're gonna stand up. Both hands come up to the sky. And as you exhale, I want you to take a cactus arm, bend at the elbows, maybe lift the heart a little bit of that cow shape. And then inhale it up. And then exhale, go ahead and sit back down. So that's gonna be the sequence. We're gonna take an inhale and an exhale. And an inhale and an exhale. And then inhale, stay here, exhale. Now inhale up, and then let's sit it down. Let's go for 3 more. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Stand up, cactus, arms raised, and sit it down. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Stand on up. Let's cactus. Bring it high. Sit back down. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Stand up. Go ahead for here. Now we're going to reach it back up and just bring the arms down by the sides there. Take your shoulders, roll them. Open the mouth. Ha. Good. Okay. Let's do a little bit of balance, and then we'll do some sun salutations standing, and then we'll wrap things up from there. So trying with the balance here, let's go for, everybody will stand on the right side of their chair. Okay. And go ahead and place your left hand on the chair to start. Now, the focus right now is going to be on the left foot. So like I said before, if we don't have a good foundation, the whole structure is going to topple. We really want to make sure that we're using as much surface area of that standing foot as we possibly can. So try to lift and spread your toes out and then set them back down. And what I'd like for you to try to really feel into is that bottom knuckle of your big toe really should feel like you can press that down. And you want to try to keep that really pressing down fully as we shift our weight. So you have the whole foot planted, but that's just such a key that I like to kind of feel into to know that I'm not pronating to either side. Now, I always recommend to have a soft bend in the knee. If you're hypermobile, you don't want to hyperextend that knee joint. So a soft bend so that we're engaging the muscles on our left leg as we just begin to shift the weight and kind of bring that right foot up off of the floor. And then you kind of recalibrate all of the time. So we're always kind of just doing these little micro movements in order to make sure that our spine is still tall. Now from here, you can kind of reach down, see if you can grab that right knee, draw it up towards your chest, flex the foot here, and then an opportunity. You could stay here with holding the knee, or you can bring that right hand to your right hip. And then if you like, you can bring that knee out to the side, and then bring it forward and see if you can do it without taking everything with you. So just opening up, getting that external rotation of the hip joint, coming back, and then open and close, just like we did seated. Again, open and close. Now we're gonna stay open on this one. Reground through that bottom foot, lift up through the crown of the head, and if you're feeling a little precocious and you wanna take your hand off the chair, you can always reach it out. And then maybe the other. And then if you like, without leaning towards the chair, maybe you can ground into that knuckle in that foot and then press that heel out. Yeah, and if you wobble a little bit or shake, don't forget to smile because you really want to challenge the edges of your balance. So press down through that bottom foot, reach up through the crown of the head, let me see you smile, and then let it go. Now, great. Remember, we're working a muscle called calmness and even this lightheartedness, that approach. My teacher always likes to say, if you were 8 years old, you would be cracking up right now. So, we have fun in yoga. It doesn't mean that we don't take it seriously. Let's do a little stretch for the outer left hip since that was our standing leg. And the way that we'll do that is we'll take our right toes and kind of a little semicircle here, back and behind, so that you come onto the ball of that back foot. Yeah. Now look at your left hip and kind of just feel a little bit like you'll lean into the right and you kind of press that hip out and back. And that should really help to get a nice stretch into that outer hip there. Yeah. So feeling into that. Good. All right. Go ahead and release it. While we're in the neighborhood, just take your chair. Let's turn it around and come into a downward facing dog. So again, we want to make sure that our feet are at least hips width apart here. It might even be a little bit wider. And you start to walk the feet back. You reach the arms forward. And this is something you could do like several times a day throughout your day. Always good to kind of traction that spine. So what I'm doing is, I start with a little bit of the bend in the knees because I'll worry about the hamstrings last. I want to drop my ears in between the biceps here. And then like someone's got that hook in the tailbone, right? They're lifting me up and back so that the hips draw back. I start to make space between the vertebrae back there. And then once I feel I'm at a good length, if I want to start to straighten those legs as well and get a little bit more work into those hamstrings. So, and then make sure you're still breathing deep and smooth. So on an inhale, stretch that back body, the belly drops. And when I exhale, that navel hugs towards the spinal cord and contracts. Inhaling and exhaling. And then we'll practice with that other stretch again. So just step the right foot forward, maybe about a half a foot or so, and bend generously into the right knee. Now take your left hand and bring it over on top of the right hand and start to draw that left hip up and back, and then maybe the right leg starts to straighten as well. But I'm really working on the distance between my left hip and my left fingertips here. And then we'll switch it out. So Left hand to the other side, step the right foot back a step the left foot forward a step, put a bend into that knee. Right hand can come on top of the left, and then I draw my right hip up and back. And you can start to just see, like I said, you're kind of like the scientist, just observing, what's the right amount for me today? Where do I need to feel it? Once you find your spot, you let the magic of the pose do what it does. You don't have to do anything else, but just stay and breathe with it. Put all that attention into what you're doing. And then go ahead and release that and just kind of walk it out a little bit. And then from here, we'll do a little bit of some Tai Chi type of Qigong moves. We'll just come and bring our hands down to our knees here, and we'll move the knees in a circle. And again, if you hear any snap, crackle, pop, it's normal. And then let's take it the other way. Good. Okay, now we'll work our way up here. So what I like to do with the hip circles is to practice a little more balance. I like to bring the feet a little closer together, hands onto the hips, and then start out like you're going around maybe just like a little golf ball, and you're circling around. And then kind of slowly start to slide a little bit more larger to a baseball, and then a softball. And it's like you're just doing one of those little labyrinth circles until ultimately you're at a beach ball, and then kind of making your way towards the hula hoop. We're just trying to take a lot of that stickiness out of the back. So if I'm on a long flight, this is definitely one that I like to get up and do, even if, like I said, no shame in yoga. I think it's catching on more and more these days anyway. So trying to normalize it. All right, and then we'll start with the big circles in the reverse direction. So stay with your hula hoop. And then go back a little smaller and a little smaller, all the way back to center. Good. Go ahead and bring the hands down. Step the feet open a little bit wider. This is another one they sometimes called shaking the tree. So just start to bounce your heels up and down, but let the arms kind of hang. And then you could even like let the neck go a little bit. And if there's just like any stuckness or stickiness that you're feeling, and take some deep breaths and just kind of shake off any kind of toxicity or tension that you're feeling. Let it all go for 5, 4, 3, 2, get it while you can, 1, and some stillness. And then just notice. Okay, let's hit the other side so I don't forget it. And I don't want the Virgos to get mad at me if I don't even it out, right? All right, so we're on the other side. And then our right foot is going to be our standing foot. Do I keep messing you up there with your shot? Good. All right. So same thing applies, right? We want to make sure that we're using the surface area of our foot as much as possible, lifting and spreading the toes, and really kind of grounding down into that bottom knuckle of the big toe. And then from here, we'll have the right hand on the chair this time just for some stability. Make sure we're at a good starting point, just taking that left foot up for a hover. And then maybe bringing that knee up for a moment. So this is an opportunity here where you get to recalibrate and focus on posture. So I'll just invite you as best as possible, trying not to lean forward, but really try to lengthen that spine. And then you could stay just like this, or you could bring that left hand to the hip and begin to open. And then come in, and doing my best not to take the right hip with me as I open and close that door. So opening up and coming forward and open and come in. We've got one more round. And then the next time we open, we'll stay. Pressing down through that bottom foot, maybe taking that hand off of the chair, maybe both, maybe kicking it out. Feeling a little bit there, a little wobble, a little shake, all good. Big breath, and then let that go. Good job. All right, let's break it up with a little bit of a sun salutation. So if you're feeling tired, you want to break, this is something I definitely do from the chair. I feel like, you guys have been sitting for most of the day, so we'll do them standing, but just know that that is always an option. And it's kind of like an advanced game, as Simon says. We just do one movement at a time, one breath at a time, and you just follow along. We'll do a couple of rounds. So starting with standing mountain pose, your hands are down by your sides, your palms are facing forward. On an inhale, take both arms, raise them up to the sky. Now we're going to twist on the exhale. So right arm will come back, left arm forward. Now on an inhale, come on back up to center, and then twist to the other side as you exhale. Come on back to center, and like we did earlier, we're going to take that cactus. Now stay for the inhale and do a little chest press. Let's draw those forearms together. Open it back up on the inhale. Now take a forward fold. So drop your heavy head, bring those fingers down, just hang like a rag doll. A little bend in the knees is appropriate. Now we take what's called a half flat back. So fingertips come to your shins or your knees, and you get as much length from your tailbone to the crown of the head as you can. Turn on those core muscles a little bit, those back muscles as you lengthen and decompress. And then drop your heavy head again. Let it all go. Now, fluid movement. Press down through both feet. Reach and rise to the sky. Once you get there, the palms connect. Come down through the heart. Interlace and press those palms forward to stretch the back. Now take those palms and raise them up to the sky. Reach really high and then clear the space. Just let it go. Shoulders roll to the ears. Inhale, open the mouth. Ha. And then take a full breath in through the nose and out through the nose. So that's kind of like a dress rehearsal. We're going to flow through it a little more fluidly, like a moving meditation. We'll do 2 more rounds. And again, just, make it your own if you want to adapt in any way. But try to see if you can breathe with me. So on an inhale, arms come high. Exhale, open it wide. Inhale to the sky. Exhale, left side. Take it back on the inhale. Open up as you exhale. Stay on the inhale. Now take that press. Come on back open. Inhale. Exhale to forward fold. It's a half flat back to lengthen. And then drop that head low. Now press and rise all the way to the sky. Palms connect. Same exhale, come down to prayer and press it forward. On an inhale, reach it up and rise. As you exhale, clear the space. Shoulders to ears. Inhale, open the mouth. Ha. And then through the nose, out the nose. One more in through the nose. And out through the nose. Last round if you want it. Inhale, rise it up. Exhale, open it wide. To the sky, inhale. Exhale, other side. Back up, inhale. Arms open wide. Stay on the inhale. And then bring those forearms together. Go ahead and open it back up. Inhale. Exhale, drop it down. Half flat back, lengthen long. Exhale, drop that head. Let's press and rise all the way to the sky. Palms connect. Now come through the center line, interlace and stretch. Inhale all the way up, we rise. And then exhale, clear the space, let it go. Take those shoulders and then drop it out. And then find that breath in and out. Yeah, so you just get a little bit of the heart going, a little bit of the blood moving, and just noticing, different effects. There's another technique that I like to do sometimes, which is like a tapping practice. Again, it just kind of helps to get just some of that stuck energy out of the system. So the way we'll start it is you want to take your right index finger and bring it to your belly button. Where your ring finger drops down to, that's called the dantian a lot of times in Chinese medicine, kind of holds prana, holds energy there. So that's where we want to start with our tapping. So you're going to make a soft fist. You're going to let the belly be soft here. And I just want you to start tapping a little bit. Okay, just letting things go, letting it release. And then we're going to make our way up what's called the Sushumna Nadi. So the central channel here, maybe when you get to the heart, if you want a little, feel free to do some humming, it's good. Now we're going to come around our left breast 3 times, so just kind of stimulating that tissue there, right? Like we want circulation in all these places. You want to keep those cells regenerating. This is good for everybody. Now we'll come up to this chest area, just kind of releasing any tightness or pressure there. You could do a little tapping here in the side of the neck, which is nice. And then take the palm, it's going to be up to the sky. We're going to start to work our way down the bicep here, coming into the forearm, and then the palm of the hand, which is connected to everything. If you've ever gotten some kinds of acupressure or, different types of massages, they work the hands and the feet. Let's turn it over, get the back of the hand. And then again, up that top of the arm here. We're going to come straight back down the Sushumna, back to the belly. And then use your right hand here to just wipe off anything on that arm. Take the hands, let's wipe off that leg. And then stand up. And notice if you don't feel like any kind of heat or electricity on that left side. And we'll just even it out. So take the left index finger, bring it to that belly button, and then drop down to that dantian. And then once again, just start to tap there. All right, just let things relax. I'm not holding, not clenching. Up the Sushumna to the heart space. Good. Let's come around the right breast 3 times. And then coming into the chest area here, those pectorals, which do get very tight from that hunching. So just letting things open, back to the neck. Taking that right palm up to the sky and then just making your way down the bicep to the forearm and to the palm of the hand. Let's get the back of the hand now and work our way up. Good. We'll come straight back down that central channel, back to the belly, and then just go ahead and wipe and release and let go the leg as well. Shake it off. And then stand your way back up. Notice the residue. And then let's have a seat here. Good job. All right. So a couple final poses, things to finish off. We're going to take our right hand, go ahead and just kind of swim that arm open wide, and then bring it over towards your left shoulder. Do that 2 more times. You can open it up, and then swim it over, and then open, and then come on in. Now leave it here this time. Go ahead and take that opposite hand and cross. We're going to take our right leg, cross it on top of the left here, and squeeze those inner thighs together. You've got some pressure points there, part of your lymphatic system that's in those glands, so that can be very cleansing. And then we're going to move into even more cleansing pose by lifting the elbows, letting the front body stretch, and then go ahead and give yourself a hug here. So what we're doing is we're working on two what they call vayus, directions of energy in yoga, an inward and a downward. So we're moving the energy towards the center line and then down. So this is good for cleansing, it's good for digestion. And as you tuck that chin in towards the chest, you're stimulating your thyroid gland, which helps to regulate blood sugar levels. So maybe even take a hard swallow there so that you can stimulate it a little further. And then we'll just start to unfurl. So release the hands, take the ankle of your right foot and bring it onto that little niche on the top of the left knee. So sometimes this can be unapproachable for people. I just tell them you don't have to have it on top. You can always bring it down lower, but we move into what's called a seated pigeon pose here. You feel that bottom foot there on the floor, and you make sure that this foot is flexed. That's going to protect the knee joint. Now this might be enough. You might already be feeling it in the outer hip plenty. If you want to go a little bit further, then what you do is you maintain the length in the spine, but you start to draw the crown of the head a little bit forward beyond the shin, and you should feel what we're looking for here, just a stretch in that outer hip. And then again, coming back to your intention. So if there's anything I'm holding on to here that's not serving me, can I just let it go? And just because it happens to be the largest space in the body, the largest joint in the body is that hip joint. So, we do store our issues in our tissues. So by default, we tend to store a lot of things in our hips. And I've seen a lot of laughter and tears in this pose. It's all good. All right. Let's start to release that. Come on, back up. Go ahead and drop that knee down, maybe a little windshield wiper just to release that. And then the other side. So left arm will swim out to the left here, and then go ahead and give yourself that little half wrap. We'll do that 2 more times to open, and then to close, and then open, and then close it in. And then that hug here, take the left leg, go ahead and drape it on top, really squeeze those inner thighs, and then lift the elbows on the inhale. Go ahead and curl your way in for eagle pose as you exhale. So looking at digestion here for elimination, thyroid stimulation. So when we're in these rounding shapes, I love to imagine, whether these people are still here in my life or maybe people that have supported me in the past, just kind of having my back in this shape, knowing that feels good. I can feel that energy here. And then maybe when I get to those heart openers, I just have more to give, more love to send to the world. And we'll start to slowly unfurl this. Go ahead and bring that left ankle onto the right knee here as best as you can, keeping that foot flexed, and then feeling your tailbone kind of rooting down, feeling a little bit longer in the spine. So whenever we're in a forward fold, we do want to try to tone that lower belly just to protect our lumbar, and then bringing the crown of the head forward. Till, that left hip tells you that's enough. Not too sharp, not too flat, just that perfect note. Okay, once you're there, just breathe. And it's like you're imagining sending those inhales right to the place that you're feeling, creating that stimulation, that circulation, regeneration. And keep guiding that mind back to what you're doing. Most important. All right, on your next inhale, go ahead and come out of that. we'll release that leg off, drop it down. Good, all right. Very last bit. Take both index fingers, or your index and middle finger together. Come right to the center space of your forehead. We call it sometimes the third eye. It's like a place of intuition, inner knowing. And I want you to come from this pressure point here and trace some arches over the eyebrows until like they land at your temples. And just do that a couple of times. Like you're just smoothing out the forehead. If there's any tension that exists there, and just kind of letting it melt away from the front of the head. And then the next time that you get to the temple, stay there. Make some circles just in one direction, and then circle it the other way. Good. And then we'll take those fingers, maybe you incorporate some others, and just a little pitter-patter here at the top of the cheekbones, and then come into the center of the cheeks, and then down to the chin. And then the lip, the top lip. Good. Now take your index fingers. I want you to just kind of clean out that sinus cavity. Just trace those lines there. We're getting into that kapha season where we're getting a little stuckness in our sinuses. So just washing that away. And then we'll come back to the hinge of our jaw, which also gets very tight sometimes. And just give that a nice massage. Can be nice. Good. All right, now taking those thumbs, we come to the base of what's called the occipital ridge of our skull. We're going to come a little bit of the windshield wiper back and forth. It's like at the top of those neck muscles. You even might get a little shampoo action in here. Feels nice. Love getting my hair washed. All right, now take those thumbs and go vertical, up and down those big, long strands of muscle that support the cervical spine. And then take your first two index fingers. I want you to come behind the ear. This is also targeting that vagus nerve. We want to go up and down a little bit. Just up and down the back of the ear. It's self-soothing to some people. And then you could just take that index finger and first finger, or thumb and first finger, and just kind of starting at the top of the earlobe, making your way down, a little more acupressure here for yourself. Good. All right, now hands are gonna take a look at your hands. Go ahead and cross your thumbs, kind of like a butterfly here. We're gonna take the heel of the hand and just give yourself a little massage into your heart here. We know that's a very hard-working muscle in our body, organ. Yeah, just a little thanks for all that it does throughout our lifetime. And then bring the hands together at the heart space. And this is just a little gesture of gratitude. If it's not comfortable for you, you can do anything else that feels appropriate. I like it because it creates this little separation between my hands. And I just imagine like this is a little seed here. And if there's any other intentions that I have for myself, or just the intention of being able to carry this feeling out with me when I leave the practice, then I just imagine planting that seed right there, kind of bowing towards it, and also a gesture of gratitude that I have this practice and that I can do this with others, and that I'm healthy enough to be here to do it. And then I'll move the thumbs to the third eye space for clarity of thought. And then bring the fingers to the lips for compassion in my speech. And that goes to myself and to others. And then just landing that right back at the space of the heart. Consistency of action, that's where it really matters. And I let this practice help guide me in what I think, say, and do. I want to thank all of you for coming today, for giving this a try, for giving me such a warm welcome. It's been a real pleasure. Namaste. Thank you.